Alright, g'day guys, Chewplucka back with part 2. Today we're having a look at the menus.
Boring.
Oh yes, I know. Perhaps not the most exciting topic, but I think it's something that's useful to know when you're beginning your journey of World of Tanks. So what I've done is just a bit of a left to right sweep of the functions and buttons on the main menu here. Hopefully the aim of this video is just to help you familiarise yourself with how this game works and what buttons you need to press to get to where you want to go. So let's start from left to right. The top left is your menu which gets you out of the game. That's useful to know. It's also your settings, so you can change your audio, video settings. There's a few bits and pieces to play around in there. I suggest have a look at the settings and configure the game to your liking. The next item is, well, yourself, so Chewplucka, and there's also professional reserves. Increase your XP for an amount of time. It's quite useful, but obviously this is not going to be valid right away, so you need to work out the game a bit before you get any personal reserves. Next thing is your standard / premium account. If you do want to spend real money on the game, you can do so through here, and basically, as you'll notice, plus 50% for credits and experience per battle, and it gives you a nice clean garage, which is certainly worth the money. Well, maybe not, but certainly the plus 50% credits and experience is worthwhile. Certainly if you're grinding up a line, it's worthwhile grabbing just for those times. Perhaps not 360 days, but 1, 3, 7 days it's worthwhile just putting on a premium account, certainly when you're grinding up the lines. Working down here, this is your ping. Obviously the lower number the better. I'd love a lower number, but 119 is what I've got presently. The next one is an important menu item which a lot of people sometimes don't take a lot of notice of. It's your missions, and basically in your missions it gives you a whole raft of tasks you can complete, and in this case what's on the screen is it gives you a chance to win, I guess, these tanks. So Stug, T28 Concept, T55A, which is tier 9, and a tier 10 Object 260. Now it's not easy to get these, okay, so I haven't got any myself, and you need at least a tier 4 tank to get into them. I won't go into it, but there's a whole raft of missions that you need to complete, 15 for each type of tank before you get these. So certainly worthwhile taking a look. Just click on each tank and it gives you a whole list of missions that you need to complete to get the tank, and I can tell you there are a lot, so that'll keep you busy for quite some time, but until you hit tier 4 really doesn't apply. Moving to mission and specials, these are kind of weekly, monthly missions that come up that give you certain advantages if you complete them. China Tech Tree Focus, so it looks like you can do this 10 times and you get a 112 for 3 days of rental, just as an example. There's a whole bunch of these that you can do, and they're all through here. I mean, it's just a matter of clicking on them. I generally don't. If I get them, it's a bonus. If I don't, I'm not too concerned, but certainly this is worthwhile keeping an eye on if you certainly are into missions and doing a bit of extra stuff. Moving right along swiftly, we're looking at the crew. So generally the tier 1 crew, you only get a couple of crew. As you move up the tank lines, you'll get 3, 4, 5, 6 crew members. Now each crew member, you'll notice there's a little plus sign. You can actually increase the skills and perks of your crew, and you'll notice here that you can accelerate repairs of damaged modules, reduces vehicle visibility. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do, as well as perks, which provides additional experience. And just for an example, I think that probably the best perk you can get for a commander is 6th Sense, which lets you know when you've been spotted. I find this probably the most useful skill, so I'm just going to select that one there, and that'll be his perk to go. And when that hits 100%, it'll become active, and when you get spotted, a little light globe comes up saying you've been spotted and it's best to get out of the way. You can also have a look at their service record, training, so if you want to change tanks, this is where you want to do it, and you can choose the different tank and retrain them. Skills we've had a look at, personal data. Well, it looks like you can change their name and their face for 50 gold. Sounds worth it, doesn't it? Anyway, let's move on. Again, you can do that for each crew member. Moving down the page, you've got a sort feature here, which basically lets you sort all your tanks. And when you start getting 30 odd tanks, it's very useful. So you can actually search via nation. You can search medium tanks versus light tanks, etc, etc. So it's a really useful searching tool, and I'll suggest you familiarize yourself with that. Across the bottom here is your social functions, so contacts, so the people you've met in game, your mates, your friend, and they'll appear on this contact list. You've also got chat channels, which you can create and join chat channels. Perhaps you want to create one with your buddies, you can do that. And this is general chat, so every man and his dog can go on here and put a nice comment on. That's up to you. So again, across here you can pick your tanks, and after you pick your tank you can then click on the individual item or module on your tank. In this case I've clicked on the gun, and this is where you can change them, purchase them if need be, and put them on your tank, and it basically goes across and you can change over as you see fit. Put on additional modules like a camouflage net, for example, which makes your tank harder to spot. Obviously you need the cash to do this, and at this stage I don't have that, but certainly as you get better at the game you'll need one on each of here, so they can stack up. You can have one ventilation, one camo, and one coated optics, for example, but you obviously need to have the dough to do it. This is your ammo and what you've got. This is standard ammo, this is premium ammo, and across here you've got your maintenance, so you can put on consumables here. And I suggest that when you can, as I said in the previous video, small first aid kit, small repair kit, and fire extinguisher is the way you want to go. And you can also mess around with your ammunition types. I won't go on with that too much now. Exterior, so you can change what your thing looks like, so you can put camouflage on it. This obviously costs 25 gold per camouflage, so there's 3 types of camouflage, so in the end it could cost you around about 75 gold, but I won't worry about that for now. That's something you can have a look at. Makes your tank look a bit cooler and a bit harder to spot. Across the top here we're having a look at the garage now. There's a depot. Now the depot is interesting because you can actually go through here as you work up lines. A lot of the redundant modules that you've taken off your tank show up in here, and if you pretty much know you're not going to use them again, you can sell them and make a whole bunch of credits. So if you get to the point where, oh, I just can't afford that tank, come into here, click on the module you don't want and sell it. Get rid of it. Now obviously these are 0, so I'm not going to get any cash for these, but sometimes if you got a whole page of them you can make a million credits if you grind up the line long enough. So just a little tip, and I found this very, very useful. You can even sell consumables, equipment, anything. So it's quite useful keeping an eye on the depot every now and then. Store, this is where you buy your tanks, modules, shells and equipment. When I buy my tanks I prefer to do it through the research module, which I can show you in a sec, but this is another option. You can go through and buy tanks. Service record, this tells you how well you're doing or how poorly you're doing, and just gives you a whole bunch of statistics that you can go through. The amount of awards that you've received throughout your career, your other statistics, so like battles, victories, battles survived, a whole bunch of other stuff here, and your individual vehicle stats. So this is a good place to look at how well you're doing in each vehicle, and if you're doing well in a vehicle, you know, suggest you stick to it and work up that line. Next thing is your tech tree. So this is your tech tree, which goes through all of the tanks in the game, going from tier 1 to tier 10. You know, so all the tier 10s are listed here, and it's sorted by country, so you can go through countries. And I mentioned earlier that I prefer to buy tanks from the research line. This is what I was talking about, the tech tree. I prefer to buy my tanks through the tech tree, so if I research that one and I can purchase the tank there, it'll show up in my garage. Barracks, this is where all your crew are stored, both crew on your tank and also not in your tank and in the barracks. So I've got 16 bunks available, so I can fit 16 more crew in the barracks, and this is basically where you can send the crew to barracks. You can put them on the tank, kind of a holding pattern for your crew while you're changing them around. So if you've got a premium tank, you can often just put them in here and then put them on your premium tank. Alternatively, you can transfer them directly onto it. It's quite useful to keep tabs on it, although it does get full quite quickly, so you'll need to dismiss all the crew that have 50% skill and keep the crew that has 100% crew generally. Stronghold, this is a clan feature until you get into a clan and get some higher tier tanks. Don't worry about this. Go back to garage. Going right up the top here, you've got create platoon. So if you've got a few buddies or some people that you met you want to play a game with, you can add them to your friend list and then drag them across into a platoon. If I close this, once you've dragged them across and invited them, they'll show up here and you can go into the battle. It's just a matter of readying up and clicking battle when you're ready to go. I'll leave the platoon. Battle, you know what that does, you did that in your first battle. Now this chooses different types of battles. Generally I recommend just staying on random battle for now. Certainly go through and have a look and see what each one of these battles do. There's team training and battle training as well, which is good if you've got a couple of buddies you just want to hack around and try a few tanks. But I generally recommend just leaving on random battle for now. Here you can purchase gold. If you click on that, it'll basically minimize the game and take you to the website where you can purchase gold with your real money to upgrade your tanks. This is your credits that you've got. You can exchange credits for gold. Again, spend real money, get in-game credits. And this is your experience. Again, you can do the same thing, convert gold to experience. So you can see where you will be, if you really get into this game, where you will be spending a little bit of money on this if you choose to. So this is all the details about your tank, including what research you have and what research you can continue on with. And it's just a matter of, this is, as I said in the previous video, the bread and butter, moving up the lines and going through and getting the next greatest tank as you move up. Oh, some nice tanks there, very good. Now down the bottom here, now I've got a mod which gives me all of the session details on my battle. I can go through this in another video, basically going through what mods I use to help me play the game a little bit better and aid in certainly some of the statistics that I find useful. But this also gives you news about what's coming up, security issues. It's just basically a little notification, well, as I said, notification center. How are we going for time? How was that, Homer? Not too bad?
No, fishing!
Well, I hope you found this useful anyway. A bit of a dry topic, but I think it's useful going through just to get a bit of an indication on what all these menu items do. Certainly help you out going forward, being more comfortable with the menu and being able to use it to your advantage. Well, that's me for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, please like. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel, as there'll be plenty more coming. Next time we're going to have a look at tank lines. So my favourite tank lines, some of the tanks I think are good for beginners, and some of those tanks maybe to wait until you're a bit more experienced. I'm Chewplucka. We'll catch you next time. See you later.